Hey guys, thanks for showing interest in my work again, and thanks for purchasing a ring hole. Now, ring hole is, I think, a fantastic ring flight. Not your everyday ring flight, because of not only for the method it uses compared to the most traditional ones out there, but the visuals, the actual premise is an impossible location, and resets just very quickly, and it's all angle proof. So combine the two things, it's the vanish of the ring and it's the impossible location, sealed candy bag, which is a great idea from Alex Latour. And he showed that to me, and I straight away thought that is something to work with. So that is, as a standalone trick, very powerful. But in combination with the ring hole, with the ring vanish, the ring to impossible location, we came up with ring hole. So let's see what you have received in your package, in the box. A couple of things. First thing is a piece of fabric. It's a fabric tunnel, if you will, a fabric sleeve, all right? And to a piece of tube, and another piece of tube. A piece of plastic, actually this is sort of ziplock. This is your sealed candy bag gimmick that comes with it. And we have two rubber bands, two small black rubber bands, all right? And of course you have the link to the video, but you're watching it now, so you obviously figured that one out. This is all inside your box. Fabric sleeve, two plastic pieces, and two rubber bands, and this piece of plastic, which is your Ziploc candy bag gimmick. This is it. Let's see what it is, what it does, and how to put it together. So let's look into that right now. So let's look into the basic setup. You can use this in a jacket, or if you're more like a street performer, you can use a button-down shirt or blouse. Preferable black color, like black, but I'll come back on that a little later. So first let's do the basic setup that applies to both, whatever you decide to do, whatever you decide to wear. This is what you do. This is a tubing, another piece of tubing. This, upon a closer look, is a piece of tube. It has a special shape at the top, like this. And it has a black safety pin on the back and two little holes, and tied to that is a thin fishing line, about 28 centimeters, and it's tied to a very small bead, a very tiny bead. All right, this is for the ring vanish. All right, now to put it together, we need to place a tube on each end of the fabric. All right, now let's do the top end first. Okay, so what you do is you're gonna flip up the pin, and you're going to put this on just like so. All right, it's stretch fabric, so it's pretty tight, and if you want, you get this black rubber band. You can put a rubber band around it, so you go through the sleeve, and to secure it in place. All right, although it's very tight, it will sit in place, but some extra secure in there. All right, and the same for the bottom. Now the length of this piece of fabric, it's all standard, it's about 40 centimeters. Don't trim it off yet. I mean, if you use it in a jacket, you might need, depending on your size, you might need this length, or you might even want to trim it down. But before doing that, just make sure you install it properly, and instead of trimming it, just flip over the fabric like so, about the same length as the bottom tube, like this. Okay, so you just basically fold it back over the tube. Okay, and it's some extra slack in the fabric that comes very handy later on. So you can first practice, see whatever you feel comfortable with, which version you want to use, and if it's your proper length. All right, so now basically this is your basic setup. And this can now be installed inside your jacket. We just, for explanation purposes, I'm going to show the jacket first. We're going to do the blouse a little later. This is the setup for the ring vanish and the ring travel system. A little history on this one is that the ring travel system in some way has been used as well by Richard Sanders in his interlaced trick, where he makes a ring disappear and it appears tight on his shoelace on his foot. Basically, it's the same ring travel system, but used in a different way. So let's look in those details a little later. This is now done, okay, ready to install. Further, you need to prepare your, and by the way, on the bottom, you can also use the rubber band on the bottom, okay, just forgot that, okay, so just make sure it's all stays in place. And this has another function on the bottom, because later, if you put this in the candy bag, this will function as a sort of stopper between the ziplock. I'll talk about that a little later. Speaking of which, we're going to make your Ziploc bag, your sealed candy bag, with this piece of Ziploc. So let's look at those details right now. Okay, right now let's make up your object to sealed candy bag. So this is what you got. Essentially what this is, as mentioned, it's an idea by Alex Latour. I think he's an American young talented magician creator, lives in Spain, and he does some designing for me too. And he showed this to me. But this is, I mean, basically this is a Ziploc from a Ziploc bag, but with the bag cut off and the top piece cut off. So you're left only with a piece of Ziploc, all right, which has double stick tape on this side and double stick tape on that side. If you have candy bags, most candy bags, they have, the pocket-sized candy bags have approximately the same width like this, all right? So you want to have a candy bag that has about this width. If you take the longer candy bags like the M&Ms, they are longer, but they do have the same width. So that's a standard all over the world. We're going to make this now in a resealable candy bag. So essentially, you're going to make a Ziploc bag of your candy bag. So for that you need your gimmick that has to be provided, and I'm going to teach you a little later on how to make these yourself within 1-2 minutes. It's very easy. And this alone is a great effect. It doesn't work with this concept, but with another concept you could do like a signed coin vanish and have a signed coin appear in a sealed candy bag. All that stuff more. So what I do is, this is the top, so there's a guide to tear it open here, so I use the bottom. And these bags are heat pressed to close like this. Right under the heat press, all right, right under there, you need to make an incision about the same width as this, which is approximately across the whole width, okay? But be careful, don't cut it through both layers of plastic, otherwise you'll cut it off. You just want to trim it, like score it, so you can open only this layer of plastic, okay? So put your ruler down, take an X-Acto knife, and trim it down. Let's see what it does. Okay. I think that's pretty good. So you remove the candies for now. This makes it easier to install this piece. So this is what you have now, all right? So now you take this piece and you remove one piece of wax paper like so. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna line it up. This edge needs to be lined up with this edge of the candy bag, okay? And it's easier if you kind of stick it to the knife here and just do this, okay? So you line it up. First one corner, set it in, and then the other corner. And let go. And you're gonna squeeze it. So the double stick tape actually adheres to this side perfectly. Then you're gonna bend it like so, and you're gonna remove the other wax paper now from this side using a sharp object like a little corner, and that hopefully helps me to get it off. Yep, there we go. remove this wax paper. All right, now keep it straight, come straight down and press it. Give it a good squeeze, and basically your gimmick is now done. Under, I think, maybe two minutes or so, it's done. So what you have created here is actually from your candy bag, you made a Ziploc bag. Open it up, it's pretty tight, all right? Here we go. You can also do this, just make sure to press the edges. And look at that, it's all done. So this is now your secret opening, and you fill up with candy. Later when you take it out of your pocket, only thing you have to do is to squeeze it, and it locks in place. And only if you know what to look for, you can see that edge where it's cut. But with the candies inside, when you press the candies to the bottom, it'll get pressed together, and it's pretty much undetectable. So if you don't know what to look for, you know, I feel very safe to just give it to the spectator. And could you just tear it open for me? Even here there's a guide, so you know, so they know what to tear. So they take it, they can just feel it, factory sealed, and you can have them tear it open. This is it. This is the candy bag, and we're gonna fill it up with the candies. All right. So put them back in like this. There we go. And now this is ready to be installed on the bottom piece. Again, this is what I mentioned. This is the rubber band. So if you put it inside here, the rubber band works as a sort of stopper with a Ziploc. All right, so it doesn't fall off. All right, so although it sits in your jacket, it functions as a sort of stopper, and now you can pull it off. All right, make sure that the bag doesn't fall off the tube inside your jacket. If you don't have, if you have deeper pockets into your jacket, this helps you to keep it stay stuck on the tube. All right, that's it. Let's go to the pocket and to the jacket. Install this baby here and install the candy bag, and then we're ready to roll. So let's go. Okay, now before we're gonna install this in your jacket with the candy bag, essentially what happens is that this is pinned inside your jacket or blouse, and this is going to be inserted inside your candy bag gimmick that you just made. And in performance, gonna show that later, this little bead is fed through the ring, and hold it like this. And this is actually held, so this is inside your jacket, and this is actually held on an angle. So what happens is that when you blow on the cover of your hand, arm, or even a different cover, I'm going to show you that a little later, what happens is this ring will hit there, you let go, and it's actually gravity activated. So now the ring is delivered inside the candy bag as this is being sucked in. So that is exactly, this is how it works. This is the basic thing, and what I like about this is that as the ring is vanished, straight away it's being loaded inside the candy bag. So the ring is gone and you're done. Okay. Yeah, let's go and look how this is going to be installed inside your jacket. Let's go. All right, so now let's look in how to install this in your jacket. So now this is the unit that came out of the box. I've installed mine right here. As you see that, let's put this down first. This is actually my working version, my prototype actually, that I use for several years now. So I made it shorter. I did trim it down because I was committed to use this inside my jacket. If I work for lay people, I wear a jacket, so that's why I decided to go out with this. So that was safe for me to trim the fabric. And if you trim it, it's very easy. This is fabric that doesn't raffle, so you can easily trim it down with a fabric scissors or even normal scissors. Essentially, what you do is you need to find the right height, but this is pinned in place right there. And actually, it just fits inside this pocket right there, which means I can vanish the ring over here, chest height, and I could grab the bag of candy out of my lower pocket there. Also, because this is a kind of older jacket, what I've done is I've made a slit in here so I can feed this through this side. So it actually appears on the outside. But now what happens is that I can put the candy bag gimmick over the tube here and set this in my pocket, so it sits in my pocket. All right, so you make sure you have the right height, but this is the perfect height for me. So still with the candy bag attached, the candy bag will about, sit right here's my pocket. So that's perfect. It doesn't pull, it just sits here. And right now, at this moment, I can just make the ring disappear and then make it appear, actually remove the candy bag from my outside pocket like this. Now, for this, obviously, again, you need to alter your jacket, but you don't have to do that. You can, if you remove it from this pocket, or even your front pants pocket of your jeans or trousers, it's equally as strong, because it doesn't really matter where it came from. But this is kind of nice also for magicians, because it kind of throws them off track. So if you're determined to do it, you can make a slit inside your jacket and feed it through so it comes out of your pocket like here. And then you just set your candy bag up and do it there. Or you use the inside pocket, and that is a perfect size for that as well. For me, this is a little bit too short to do the version of removing the candy bag from my pants pocket. But for that, I recommend do not cut it off yet, okay? Just fold the fabric over, keep some slack, so you can just try out what you want and what method and what version you feel comfortable with. Before we can continue, we must place, of course, the secret candy bag, the sealed candy bag gimmick we just made, all right? So, for doing so, you're gonna take the bottom tube, and it doesn't really matter if you put it this way or this way, all right? So like this, see, this is how it's held by the rubber band on the Ziploc pieces right there, this in between. We can use this jacket right here, all right? So that fits perfectly. It's just hanging there, so the ring vanishes and travels through the fabric sleeve right into the candy bag, okay? And see, if I was doing this on the other way, so I put it right through here. Let's give you a peek. So it comes out right there. Then I will set it up like this, okay? So now I can retrieve the candy bag from my side pocket. So I put this right there in. Up, it just sits right there. You can see it right there in my pocket. It's hanging safely. It's just hanging here. My pocket is like this deep here, but it's hanging so I can pull the candy bag off the tube in my pocket, all right? And then as I come out, I squeeze it shut. All right, so let's have a closer look. Right here is installed. Again, as mentioned, I have a straight line going from here to this side, where the candy bag is actually hanging, sitting inside my pocket. All right, so what you want to do is that you want to check the height. So as explained how this works is this is gravity activated. So what you want to know is that if you have the right angle, if this is pinned into the right angle. So you don't want to do it like this, right? So no, that's not what you want. You want to have at least like this angle, which is about chin height, but you need to check that out. So you make sure that this is the proper height. So you do this and boom, it's like there, it's hanging, right? So this is something that you need to play around with. So if it's not the right height, you can either adjust this height here with the safety pin, just place it more down or more up. And you don't want to work over your, like eye height or something with the ring. You want to keep it like chest height. So this is for me the right angle. So I know when I do the vanish, I just cover it and I let go of it. It'll be a right hit. So it's now hitting against the this piece there. And now when I let go, the ring travels through the fabric. So make sure you have the right angle, and it should be diagonal about this. So it goes from here, boom, to there. So now when you let go, boom, it falls down, and then you go further. Another thing is, if you are determined, you want to make sure that when you install this piece is kind of staying upright like so, that it's not hanging or whatever. Otherwise, it won't catch the ring properly. So what you can do, if you pin it in and you have like a very loose fabric jacket, then you can use the very top two holes where the line is thread through and tied to, and take a needle and a bit of thread, black, and just stitch it with 1 or 2 stitches through the hole through your fabric, so this sits in place. Alright, so you're ready to perform ring hole. This is set up in a way where I can retrieve the candy bag from the side pocket, but it can be as well here, because it doesn't really matter. I think it's nice that the ring vanishes like here, chest height, and then with the empty hands you go to a completely different area, whether it's your side pocket or inside jacket pocket, and remove the candy bag from another place with empty hands. So now I'm set up to retrieve the candy bag from my side pocket, and the only thing yet you want to make sure is, of course, you need a ring that fits through the piece of tubing. Now it's a pretty large piece of tubing, so I think it fits pretty much any ring, but if you get those big clunky ones, just make sure it fits through the piece of plastic. As the spectator is removing the ring, you do this and set it up like that. So you retrieve the ring. So what you do is, when you get the ring, you'll feed the bead right through the ring like this and take it. And you can do that by looking at the inside, or what's inside, your name or date or whatever. And so what you do now is, this is pinched between your finger and thumb, and you grip it now with your middle finger and thumb. So this is how you keep it, like so. Make sure you keep it on the right angle. So one more time. Get the ring from the spectator, feed it through, boom, boom. And you can do that under the guise of watching what's on the inside. Oh, is that your name? And you're done. It's pretty quick. You don't make it look like a move, but just take the ring and under the guise of looking to it and read the writings on the inside, you'll feed it through and lock it. Now, remember that the best way to do this is, I learned that if you do this by daylight, a light color will cover this wire the most, okay? Black is not good. Maybe black is perfect if you work in restaurants, bars, whatever, under those lighting conditions. But for daylight, you better just kind of wear kind of light surface on the back, right? So on the black, it might glimpse. So you need to manage a little bit your situations. So for the vanish, so I know this is the right angle, my hand comes up, and what happens is that if my arm comes up right here, exposed view is that as I'm covering it, like I would touch this with my fingers, I let go of the ring, which is now exactly where I want it to be, all right? So, you retrieve the ring from the spectator, you're all set up, and as you look at the ring, you feed through the little bead and you re-grip it like this. And it all happens under the guise of taking a look. And right now is you get the right angle to do the vanish. So usually there are a couple of ways to do it. The right angle should be this. So when I let go now, boom, is being catched here by this edge. And when I let go now of the thread is being sucked in and you're done. But you want to do that on the cover, of course. You don't want to do it like this. So you want to, either way, cover it with your hand. So like you cover the line with your hand, like this. Boom, boom, and do that. Gone. Or if there's another way, if you want to do it, you can do it with a handkerchief. I can refer to Richard Sanders' Any Ring. It is an handkerchief that has a special handkerchief, so you can do the vanish, and the spectator they feel what they think is their ring, so you can delay the vanish of the ring, and then you can take out the candy bag. You say, okay, in case it goes wrong, here's the candy bag, it's for later. They still feel their ring, they think they feel, and then boom, ring is gone, and then they can take the candy bag, open it up, and find their own ring. Okay, right now the ring is gone, and to make sure it's really all the way down into the bag, what I do is I take my jacket and say, okay, ring is gone, boom, and this way, again, you need to practice kind of your angle, but I think with the handkerchief is equally as strong, and that gives you kind of cover as well, to show you're going to use the cover of the handkerchief to cover this distance where the ring travels under the handkerchief. But right now, to make sure is, let's say the ring is gone, boom, I do this. You know, I look up and say it's somewhere, I know it's not here, it's gone. I give a little tug on my jacket to make sure that that straightens out the fabric line and make sure it's all the way down. And you can feel it, sometimes you hear it. So now it's good to go. So now with an empty hand, I go inside my jacket pocket and I take the candy bag and I pull it down. So I pull it away, exposed view now, put it away from the tube. This happens inside my jacket. As I do it, I simply give one squeeze and come out. All right, so this is inside. I have to put it back there. Now you don't have to squeeze it all the way, because if you squeeze the middle, you can show it around, and as you show it around, you're still squeezing it shut. So right now you can present this, the sealed candy bag. It's very visual. The ring vanishes here. With an empty hand, you reveal a candy bag which is sealed. So what I do now is I just give it one squeeze in the middle, and then that's good enough. You can turn upside down, and as you turn it over again, you squeeze another piece there until it's completely shut. And now I just push the candies towards the bottom. That keeps this edge, the secret cut there, pressed. So it looks really legit. And here's even a guide to tear it. And I said, oh, I want you to tear it, to give it to the spectator. So you kind of guide them as to where to tear it open. And now the spectator is actually tearing open the candy bag, which they do, like this. And they find their ring inside the candy. And that is basically the performance and a technique for ring haul. So what you need to do is basically to practice the angle for the vanish. If you want to do it this way, just with your hands. It all is it's just a matter of setting this up properly, using the right length, make sure there are no dents in the fabric, so it's one straight line. This is even, it has a little curve to it. If you would do it like this, it's more of a straight line and more safer to do. Okay, so it travels straight, boom, into the candy bag. And that's basically it. So yeah, the basic handling for ring haul, the vanish and the reveal. So there's nothing more fumbling around. It's really, when it's gone, you go into your jacket pocket and you come out pretty much straight away with the candy bag. And that's it. So as you take it out, pull it away from the tube, give it one squeeze to lock the zip lock upside down, and as you're showing it around, you complete the lock, and then it's done. All right. So that's the basic version. Let's talk about how to install this in your blouse. Pretty much the same. And then to reveal the candy bag from your front pants pocket. Okay. So if you're more like a street guy, okay, this might be something for you. All right, let's check that out. All right, so now let's look into details on using the button-down shirt and blouse and how this is being installed. So what I've done here, okay, it's the same as in the jacket. So the reason why I said you have to wear kind of darker clothing is because the safety pin is black, all right, and pretty much disappears into the wrinkles of your shirt, how it naturally falls. But the best is to make sure you don't flash any strange things on the outside, to wear like a darker shirt, like a black shirt. Make sure that the length, all right, so this piece, the bottom, does not is longer than the shirt itself, all right? So this is pretty much the right length, and still very easily this fits into my front pants pocket like this. Okay, let me show you the exposed view like that. Okay, and make sure this is one straight way without any twists and without any bends, whatever. And this is it. So again, the same applies to this principle with the candy bag. It sits right in there. This is installed at the right angle. This is your wire. All right, and if you're borrowing, so you make sure that you do the proper setup, take it, and take it from the angle. And what you want to do now is, again, make sure, do that, it's gone. And now, right now, you can do the same thing, you can do that, but now you know it is inside the candy bag. So to make sure that what I do is, right now I need to move this out of the way with empty hands. What I do is simply pull this fabric piece with the plastic out of the candy bag to get this out of the way, and then my hand goes in and reveals the candy bag. Now it's just a ring because it didn't stop the candy bag, and then continue it the same way how you do it with your jacket. Obviously, when you do the reset, if you do the candy bag, you'll need, each time you do it, you destroy a real candy bag. But so depending on how much you want to do it, you want to prepare a few candy bags before you start your gig, and then it's basically just loading the candy bag on the tube and make sure the line is pulled back out like so, and that's your setup. You know, that's it. All right, now let's make up your own sealed candy bag gimmick. So you want to get one of these. These are the Ziploc bags you want to have. These are about 6 centimeters wide. The length doesn't really matter, so make sure you get the proper length. The easiest way is to get the candy bags and then measure that and find the closest width on the Ziploc bags. So when you get these, you need the scissors and some double stick tape. Okay, now this is literally done in 2 minutes, maybe less. Okay. So what you do is you take some double stick tape and you make sure that this Ziploc piece is in dead center of your tape, like so. Align it, press it, flip it upside down, and cut it off right here. Make sure you don't cut into the bag. And on the other side, you do the exact same, all right? So, double-sided tape over it, just like that. All right, and cut it off. All right, so that is about it. So almost done. Make sure you give it a good squeeze, and then simply trim off along the line of the tape, the back and the top piece, and there you go. So this is now your sealed candy bag gimmick that can be used in your favorite candy bag. And what it is exactly this. All right. So this is it. You can make a couple of those up if you want to in advance, or you can, as said before, remove this one that you've used out of the open candy bag and replace it into another candy bag by removing it carefully. But it's very easy, very quick, so you can make a box up of these, and that's it. So that is how to make your sealed candy bag gimmick. All right, so that's it. There you have it, ring haul. I'm sure you love it. Give it a practice, because I think with a little bit of effort, you will be able to get this down. It's not really that hard. You just need to install it properly, get the angle right, and that's it. But you know, every good magic needs a little practice, but it's not knuckle busting. It's something you can do. Just make sure you do it in the proper circumstances, which is, we talked about the lightning before. Bright shirt for outside, inside, working circumstances, bar, restaurant magic, doesn't really matter. But you want to kind of manage that a little bit. And that's pretty much it. And so you can do it, like I said, in a jacket. Street performers can wear a blouse, button-down shirt. So I think it covers it pretty much. And you'll have an amazing ring flight, ring to Impossible location. That's it. Ring hole. Thank you again for your support. I wish you a lot of fun doing this. This is they will get people crazy, and yeah, I can't wait to see how you guys perform it and with what ideas you can come up with using this method. I think only the sky's the limit. It's a great system, and only the sealed candy bag, I think, is the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, and I want to thank Alex Latour for allowing me to use his sealed candy bag principle here. And yeah, I think together we created something nice and that you will enjoy. So again, thank you so much. Have fun and hope to see you next time. Thank you.